All right, let's get into this. We're not just going to hear a story today. We're actually going to step right inside of it. Imagine a place where silence is this oppressive force, a weapon even. And the only thing pushing back, it's the sound of a single defiant drum. So try to picture this, a night so dark, so heavy, it feels like it's actually grieving something, you know? The air is thick with despair. This is the world we're entering, a world where it feels like even the stars have just given up and gone silent.
And in this world, there's a village. But it's more like a ghost of a village, really. It's just haunted by malaria and cholera. Sickness and this suffocating silence, they're the only things in charge here. Every now and then you might hear a faint cry, but it's swallowed by the darkness almost instantly.
But wait, listen, something else is there. It cuts right through that stillness. It's not a sound of pain, though. It's a rhythm of pure defiance. Thick-dum, gig-dum. It's the steady, powerful beat of a wrestler's drum. It's pretty much the only sign of life in a place that's just being consumed by death.
So, the big question is, who's the person making that sound? Where did this spirit, this fight, even come from? Well, let's get into it. This is the story of how that champion was made.
Okay, so this is Eddie Turner. His story starts pretty rough. He was orphaned when he was just 9 years old and ended up being raised by his widowed mother-in-law. And he had to watch her get humiliated by the other villagers day in and day out. That experience, it shaped everything for him. He realized that strength, well, it wasn't about glory or showing off. For him, it was a shield. It was about having the power to protect, to earn respect, and to make sure no one could ever dishonor his family again.
So then one day he's at a wrestling fair, and you can just feel the energy, right? It's electric. You've got the thud of bodies hitting the mat, the roar of the crowd, and most importantly, the thunder of the drums. It just ignites something inside him. And in this split second, this moment of pure impulse, he does something absolutely crazy. He challenges the reigning champion.
I mean, look at this matchup. It's almost a joke. In one corner, you have Eddie Turner, a total nobody from some village. And in the other, you've got Leonard the Lion Cub. This guy's a monster, the undefeated champion. He literally struts around roaring like a lion. The odds are just impossibly stacked against Eddie.
And the crowd? Oh, they go wild. But not in a good way. They're all thinking the same thing. This kid is mad. He's about to get destroyed. There is absolutely zero doubt in anyone's mind that this young guy just made a huge, maybe even fatal, mistake.
Okay, so here's where things get really interesting. The fight starts, and just as everyone expected, Leonard gets Eddie in a hold. It looks like it's all over. The whole crowd is on its feet cheering for the champ, but then something happens. The drum, its rhythm changes. It's not just keeping time anymore. It's like it's chosen a side. And that beat, it becomes a voice. A thundering command, speaking right to Eddie, telling him exactly what to do. Break the hold, get out. And then the final explosive instruction. Lift him, slam him. And incredibly, he does it. He digs deep, finds every last ounce of strength he has, fueled by that rhythm, and he lifts the champion and just slams him to the ground. Unbelievable. The invincible Lion Cub is down. And just like that, in a single moment, Eddie Turner goes from a nobody to the new royal wrestler. His life has just changed completely and forever. But you know what? That incredible victory, that was only the beginning. For the next 15 years, Eddie Turner wasn't just a wrestler, he was the wrestler. He was a legend, building this golden era all on the beat of that drum.
For a decade and a half, the man was basically untouchable. He's now the royal wrestler for the local lord Sir Reginald. And he was a champion, for sure, but he was also just this joyful guy, a playful giant, you could say. And he started to build a legacy, training his 2 sons, who were growing up strong just like him, all to the sound of that same drum.
But fortunes are fickle, aren't they? And just like rhythms, they can change in an instant. That long, steady beat of victory, well, it was about to be replaced by something much, much harsher. This is where the story takes a turn. This is the champion's return.
And his fall from grace, it was so fast, so brutal. First, his patron, Sir Reginald, passes away. The new heir, he couldn't care less about wrestling. He's into horse racing. So just like that, after 15 years of being on top, the undefeated champion is dismissed, sent back to his village with nothing, just his 2 sons and his drum.
And the village he comes back to, it's not the one he left. Not even close. It's a wasteland.
All that glory from the royal court feels like a dream, completely replaced by this grim reality of a place just being chewed up and spit out by hunger and disease.
And this is where the drum becomes something else entirely. Its purpose is completely transformed. It's not for wrestling matches anymore. Now it's a rebellion. It's a fight against pure despair. I mean, the beat can't cure anyone, right? But it gives them something else, the courage to look death in the eye without flinching. It literally becomes the heartbeat of a dying village.
And that brings us to the final chapter, where Eddie has to face his greatest opponent ever. But this fight isn't in an arena, it's in his own home, and his only weapon is his drum.
The sickness that's been tearing through the village, it finally reaches his own family. It comes for his sons. And as they're lying there, dying, they don't ask for medicine, they don't ask for comfort. They ask for one thing, the sound of his greatest moment, the rhythm that made him a champion. They whisper, "Father, play the slam rhythm."
And what else can he do? He plays. All night long, as his boys slip away from him, Eddie just sits there and beats that drum. He plays the rhythm of strength, of defiance, not as some memory of a fight he won, but as a final tribute. A tribute to his sons, who he knew were fighting their own battle right to the very end.
Then, a few days later, the village realizes something's wrong. It's too quiet. The drum has finally stopped. And when they go to check on him, they find Eddie. He's dead. But it's how they find him that matters. He's lying face down, the exact posture of a wrestler who was never, ever pinned. And this, right here, it was his final wish. He told his disciple, "Never let them lay me on my back." Because in his mind, in his spirit, he was never beaten. Not by any wrestler in the ring, and in his own way, not even by death. So, that leaves us with this one powerful question to think about. What was Eddie's real victory? Was it in that roaring arena all those years ago when he beat the champion? Or was it in that silent hut, using that same defiant rhythm to face down death itself? It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What does it truly mean to be undefeated?